Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports. We're just going live now. I'm just gonna push this little video up here a second before we start. So, second. Okay, we're coming into the house, which is good. Let's keep it going. We're coming into the house. This is make sure we got this live. It's cool. Push it out. I'll get that out now. Okay, it's a interesting topic. Somebody says it's a meaty topic. Look, if you haven't subscribed already, please do hit that subscribe button. So before I continue, you're probably wondering who this young man is on the photograph. If you didn't listen to the interview, I would really recommend you do go listen to the interview. I want to get something up for you first before I continue. Get it up. Right. Grab that shower from the office. Nick the champagne. Let's get off it. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too, my friend. Okay. So the young man that's on this in this picture has got nothing to do with fixing and boxing or preempted fights. But this particular young man, and I do like to give people kind of like in the sport of boxing. This gentleman's gonna be fighting tonight, actually, Friday night on Showbox. His name is Marco Escuedo. Okay, Marco Escuedo. He is a light heavyweight. He's unbeaten. He's got 10 fights, 9 by KO. He has a deep amateur pedigree. And he also, he's also trained by Charles Mooney, who also trains Matt Korobov, who will be fighting Chris Eubank Jr. shortly. So he is from Argentina. He's joined with Charles Mooney, and it's in a step-up fight. He's fighting a guy, Joseph George. He's 9-0. Okay, so from Argentina. He's trying to make a name for himself. I think he's just recently signed with Samson Boxing. So yeah, he fights tonight on Showbox, and that's going to be fighting. It's at the Winner Vegas Casino and Resort, Sloan, Iowa, USA. So he's fighting tonight, and also on the same card, his gym mate, also from Argentina, is Alberto Palmetta. He's 12-1. And he's a welterweight, and he'll be fighting against Eric Vega Ortiz. Again, another step-up fight. Ortiz is 16-0. So these are two fights, two competitive fights we've got on the card tonight. So I'm looking forward to seeing both of those gentlemen displaying their skills and talents. Charles Mooney is a very good trainer, Olympian as well. So yeah, Junior Fire is fighting tonight as well. So there we go. So there are two guys that are fighting tonight. Again, we've got them on BWTM. It's nice to have guys that people don't know that much about. So when they make their breakthroughs, we say BWTM once again were there first. Okay, so these are two guys we look out for. And good luck to them both tonight. So let's talk about this thing about what was the topic again? I can't remember what the topic is I've put now. Let me go back to my prearranged fight results. I just want to give a massive shout as well to my good friend Charlene Jones. If you're listening, hope that you're well and good. It's always good to see you. It's always good to see your positivity, seeing you working out and traveling around the world. Wow, I do love those pictures. And also shout out to Habazan, Let's talk about her potentially fighting on January the 10th. That's what's been floating around. Dan Rafael broke the news, but at the moment, it seems to me, from what I understand, there's not even been a contract put in place. So again, I think that's what they're probably targeting for January the 10th. We'll see if Ivana is forced into that fight or not. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about this thing about pre-arranged fight results. I find it extremely difficult to be able to say two guys in get in the ring and fight. To make a fight a fair fight, two guys get in the ring, and you know when you in amateur boxing, generally when you're starting your career off, your trainer will look for a guy to match you of similar boxing ability, experience, style. That's what happens in the amateur game if you've boxed before. If you haven't, I'm just letting you know. So you come to the gym, the trainer will make sure you get into good shape, teach you the fundamentals, and then from that point, he'll matchmake, or he'll have a matchmaker at the gym that will know of other clubs and other fighters and have good relationships generally with trainers and say, okay, we know Johnny here, he's a novice. Yeah, Johnny's a novice as well. Okay, what's he like? Yeah, he's a bit wild. Yeah, he's a bit wild as well. Yeah, we'll match it. And generally, same weight, and they'll go with that. All right, they'll kind of go with that. That's how. And you say it's a fair fight. Two guys get in the ring fine. Then there's fights where guys are coming in heavier. Sometimes you fight in these competitions where a guy comes in known to come in heavier, and then we know there are fights where there are grossly mismatches where a Toragati fought a fight called Joey Gamach. I think it was 14 or 15 pounds over heavier, and the knockout was quite devastating. Go and look at something like that. So we know when fights are people are a gross mismatch in weight and boxing ability and stuff. Fine, we get that, and we see every week on TV where we got the guy that's unbeaten. He's got 10 fights or 12 fights. He's an Olympic prospect or Olympic gold medalist. Generally speaking, there's the odd one or two that go off the script, but generally, turns pro, Olympic gold medalist, gets fed a whole load of journeymen and guys who have no business being in the ring with them to build their profile. Mike Tyson happened as well. The amount of guys that Mike Tyson fought for his career, people didn't know anything about him. He literally, Bill Caton and Mike Tyson's people at the time, they turned around and said they didn't care. They just wanted bum of a week. All they wanted was to see this guy going through, knocking out heavyweights. And that was how they built the Mike Tyson story up. All right? That's how they built the Mike Tyson story up. Not saying Mike couldn't fight now, but that's how they built the Mike Tyson fight. He was this monster. He was unbeatable. He was this and that. And Mike could fight. He had great head movement, was trained very well by Castamato. So the dynamics are there, but Mike could fight. All right? No doubt Mike could fight. But what I'm saying is that's how they built the story of Mike Tyson. Mike knocking out whole. It didn't matter who Mike was knocking out at the time. It was just Mike Tyson looked ferocious, and people bought into the hype. Now, when there's so much invested in you, particularly now in boxing, where there's so much money flying around, and it's investment. Look, Canelo, we're going to use as a good example. 300 million was it invested in him with the zone deal and the rest. Yeah, he's an investment. So what? 10 was it a 10-fight deal? So strategically, you're not going to stick Canelo in with the biggest and the baddest fighters in the world without some sort of there has to be. That's investment. That's a serious investment. That's some serious money being invested there. So there has to be some stipulations. You the 10. We need to see you get for his 10-fight deal, and we need to see you go for his 10-fight deal unbeaten. That's basically what we need. We cannot have you getting embarrassed like you did against Floyd Mayweather. We certainly can't have that happen again. No, never, niente, not again. Cannot get embarrassed like you did against Floyd. And what do we say if you do get him? If to avoid that, well, you make sure you don't fight anybody who looks like Floyd, fights like Floyd, or has the capability of embarrassing you. That's what we do. We keep you well away from that. Okay. I'm using Canelo as an example. All right. So we're going to stick you with guys that we know that you can beat, that you've got a better skill set at, or guys that are not going to present too much movement for you. In the case of the Kovalev fight, the Kovalev story was told to us already. He was old, he was shot, he was past it. So, why not Kovalev do that dance that you were doing on the video, dancing back and forth, and doing the Russian dance? It's all right. It's nothing wrong with that. If you're getting 12 million in your pocket, you would surely be dancing like that. And, every time you saw Canelo, you'd be shaking his hand and smiling and looking very nice, very happy with him. It's a business deal. And this is what we call a business deal. There is no way that Kovalev was going to beat Canelo. Absolutely no way. I told you there's a 10-fight deal on the table with a 350 million contract, plus you franchise champion. Come on. Kovalev's what, 35? He's an old 35, 36 years old. There's no, well, okay, if you beat our boy, if you beat Canelo, we'll take you on with a contract. No. Come on. You're not going to make that money out of Kovalev. So what you do, what you do, here's the agreement. We will fight you. You will give us your title. And you'll get paid good money. More money than you would make fighting Beterbiev, Bivol, Pascal, and Yard put together. And this one fight with Canelo. You're getting old. You're close to retirement. Don't need to take too much pain anymore. Okay, you get knocked out. People expect you to get knocked out. That's fine. We get it for 12 million. So Canelo fights Kovalev. Fully well knowing he can't knock Canelo out. So you don't know how good a guy's chin is. You surely don't want to be landing big right hands on his chin to find that out. And you've got to stay within the script. So you do. I've never seen Kovalev box so hesitantly in my life. Throwing jabs. They were sparring. The only person who threw punches with any intent in that fight was Canelo. You knew Canelo fight from the start. 350 million, the investment, or 300 million, the investment he's got behind him, the franchise champion. Listen, that's a fight you know the result before you even tune in to watch it. So it would be absolutely crazy or suicidal to put Canelo in with guys who have any chance of beating him. So, okay, let's talk about Callum Smith and Billy Joe Saunders. Let's talk about Callum Smith first. Well, Callum Smith's fight against the kickboxer backed him up, had him on the ropes, and Callum Smith cannot fight backing up. Callum Smith is not a mover. He's very basic, straight up and down. He throws good punches when you allow him to come forward. When's the last decent fight Callum Smith has had? Callum Smith, with all due respect, I don't know how he's number one in the world by the WBC. I know he's got the belt and stuff, but he's not number one in the world. Then David Benavidez fights far more than Callum Smith. And Smith cannot beat Benavidez. No way, no shape, no form. No. So, listen. No way, no shape, no form does he beat Benavidez. All right? Callum Smith is straight up and down and he's flat-footed, which means that Canelo's able to walk him down, walk him to the ropes, work him to the body, get him out of there. Listen, that Callum Smith is a belt holder. That's what he is, literally a belt holder. Right? He's just holding on to that belt until Canelo gets a hold of it. So that's another pickup job. And as for Billy Joe Saunders, He's another one there right for the picking now. He's there right for the picking. 2 or 3 years ago, I would have said Billy Joe Saunders would have caused him more problems. Not now. That, for me, Billy Joe Saunders ain't moving anyway quickly now. So he's slowed down considerably. And I believe that if he fights a super middleweight, then he's getting cooked as well. So that's two guys who've got O's that will let them go. All right. Both of those guys can't sell. Both of those guys are not big ticket sellers. So with somebody like the bully, the people behind Canelo are bullies, they'll say, listen, you ain't going to make the kind of money fighting other guys if you fight Canelo. Canelo's the cash cow. So you'll do it the Canelo way. You'll do it the Canelo way. So Smith and Saunders are two like two sheep in the fields at the moment, eating their grass, getting fattened up, ready for Canelo and his people to come, electrocute, slaughter, pack, and prepare for you to eat your lovely kebab on a Saturday night. That is what Saunders and Smith are. They will come pre-packed, both champions, both from the UK, and both ready and primed to get beaten the living daylights out of. I'm sorry, this might not sound great. This might not sound the way you might want to hear things, but that is why I see it. I told you about the Canelo fight. Let's give you two more fights. Well, blatantly, you knew the fix was in. De La Hoya, when he fought the guy he fought before he fought Hopkins, De La Hoya lost that fight when he moved up to middleweight for the WBO title. Somebody go check that guy out for me. Can't remember his name again. No, Felix Sturm. There we go. Felix Sturm versus De La Hoya. He did not beat Felix Sturm, but he needed a belt to fight Hopkins. Was that for the undisputed? I'm not sure. But he needed a belt to fight Hopkins. That was a big money grossing fight. De La Hoya didn't win against Sturm, but to put the decision through so that De La Hoya and Hopkins could fight. Okay? This is what I'm talking about right here. Manny Pacquiao, Timothy Bradley. The fix was in before they even got in the ring. I remember doing a video. Go back and look up my other channel, BWTM online. Video out. I predicted that Manny Pacquiao and Timothy Bradley would have a rematch before they even fought the first fight, because Bradley already had a poster coming out for Pacquiao versus Bradley 2. That was at a press conference. That was before the fight. They even fought the first fight, so they knew there was going to be some controversy. That night, Pacquiao lost. He got jobbed on points. A fight that I believe Pacquiao won. Was set up the rematch with Bradley. I mean, Fury versus Wilder. Jack Reese and his slow count. If we didn't need any more example of Jack Reese and his slow counting, we saw it again in the KSI fight. KSI got dropped, and then Jack Reese found a way to stall time so KSI could recover. And then you've got the A side, B side garbage, pre-prepared fights, like what's going to happen. Ricky Burns versus Lee Selby. So Ricky Burns, for me, outboxes Lee Selby, puts a boxing lesson on him over 12 rounds and loses the fight. So to me, it's which face fits here. Is Lee Selby the guy that they think they can sell more? Is Lee Selby the guy that can get more money out of? Is Burns' contract coming to an end? Is he no longer sellable? Question. Kell Brook, what's going to happen with his career? Why is he not boxing at the moment? And more to the point is, when he comes back, would he get thrown into a world title fight against someone like a Terence Crawford? We know what happens here. When a side loses, is that too like AJ Ruiz, or is that just exposed? Point. That was not going to the script, and bad matchmaking. Okay, there were so many other heavyweights that listen. There were so many other heavyweights that could have taken that call. There's nothing to suggest that Jarrell Miller could not have been that guy that night to have done the same thing. All right, because another guy that comes in, brings the pain, throws lots of punches, pressure. And we know that Joshua doesn't take a punch very well. So it was only a matter of time to find the chin, and Ruiz found the chin. Miller doesn't have to be as good a counter puncher. That's beside the point. Joshua, when you attack Joshua, he cowers away when you attack him. That doesn't come into it. Got nothing to do with counter punching ability, right? But and I'm going off topic here. So back to the point. So their fights in history. Let's see. Yeah, Chisora versus Price is an odd one. The ending was odd, but they're friends. David Haye versus Audley Harrison is another one, which is a very, very, very odd fight. David Haye said afterwards he bet on himself that a fight would end in the third round. If you go back and watch the third round again of that fight between Audley Harrison and David Haye, if the fix wasn't in then, I don't know. Because before Haye hits Harrison, he verbally says something to Harrison. He goes it's something along the lines like, right now. And then Harrison falls over. I mean, maybe it's just me. Or he could say, you're getting it right now. But it seemed to me all very pre-planned. Right now. And then Harrison falls over. I mean, for you to sit here and actually believe that there's no fixing in boxing is unreal. I mean, as long as if you got to look to yourself, the guy that's got the long-term investment. So again, Canelo, Lomachenko, Usyk, these guys have got long-term investments. Now look at this Usyk situation. The guy hasn't even fought a top 10 heavyweight, yeah? And they're already talking about the WBO becoming vacant so Usyk can get a title shot. What is that based off? What is Usyk's claim to fame at heavyweight? Now, I'm a big Usyk supporter now. Don't get me wrong. But what's his claim to fame? What is it? Why does he become number one at heavyweight? Why does he become a number one contender for the WBO heavyweight championship of the world? For what point? Because he beats Chaz Witherspoon? You tell me. When you know the script or the vision of the fighter, like for example, let's say now, let's pick another fighter in world boxing. Sean Porter, Errol Spence. This probably won't be popular. But who's the momentum with? Errol Spence. Who's the unbeaten fighter? Errol Spence. Who's the investment going to go towards? Errol Spence. Not saying Errol Spence ain't a good fighter, but the investment's there. The big push is there. Errol Spence. So there's investment there. So, if the fight gets close, it's going to go to Spence. Why? because the long-term future isn't with Sean Porter, it's with Errol Spence. When Evander moved up, he wasn't the highly touted as heavyweight, and he moved up before he proved himself there. Yeah, he fought guys before he became heavyweight champion of the world. I'm sure he fought guys like Alex Stewart, and he fought Rodriguez, Mike Dokes. Um, he fought a good bunch of guys before he became heavyweight. He went on and fought for that heavyweight championship of the world. Talking about, so he proved himself. So, I forgot what I was talking about now. Can somebody remind me what I was talking about? Hold on. You need to be. Before his heavyweight debut, wasn't he advertised as a top heavyweight though? Evander Holyfield was touted as the guy to fight Mike Tyson and beat Mike Tyson. That was the big thing about Evander Holyfield. That's what it was. And because they'd sparred as amateurs, that's where the connection was between Holyfield and Tyson. So there. Um, so we talk about I talk about Usyk and the heavyweight championship of the world. So and Errol Spence and his push. Deontay Wilder now, the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. There is more investment in Deontay Wilder retaining that title against Ortiz than there is with Ortiz becoming heavyweight champion of the world. This is another good example. In fact, this is a perfect example. Perfect example. Deontay Wilder is a heavyweight champion of the world. I don't know how many defenses he's made of the title of the championship now, but he's made a damn good few championship defenses. I think 7 or 8 or even more. We know his next fight already is Tyson Fury. There's that vision there. Wilder beats Ortiz to fight Fury in a mega rematch. So unless Ortiz rips up the script in some amazing way, you better believe that everything is going to be in Wilder's favor. You better believe it. And Ortiz is just a passenger on the journey, on the bus is about to get thrown off. That's how it is. So unless Ortiz does something extremely amazing, or Wilder does something extremely stupid, we know that Fury versus Wilder, it too is scheduled for February 2020, right? So what can we see there? If it goes to points, we know that it's going to be heavily stacked in Wilder's favor, unless Wilder is knocked down in that fight numerous times where they can't swing it that way. Okay, that's so you've got that vision there, you've got that point there. This is the fight here. This is where we're trying to get to, but this guy in the middle is in the way. So you have it right there. You have it right there. And fights you kind of know are going to happen before they happen. When what's his name, Crawler, was fighting, we knew that, and we knew Crawler was fighting. We knew that Crawler was going to fight Lomachenko. We knew that Campbell was going to fight Lomachenko. There's certain ways they match the fight, matches, so they know the next fight's coming up is those two. So now we're hearing a lot of Usyk versus Chisora. So now, if this WBO title becomes vacant, then I would not be surprised if we saw Derek Chisora versus Usyk. Why? Because Chisora is, he's come forward, he'll move in straight lines, and Usyk can move and box. Okay, it's a great fight for Usyk to showcase his skills and talents. But don't be surprised if you don't see Usyk versus Chisora for the WBO Championship of the World. That is if Andy Reid. I think still, because I know that Al Heyman's plan is to get the undisputed fight between Ruiz and Wilder. I know that's the plan. But the powers that be around may want to see something different. and don't want Al Heyman to have the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Who was the last promoter to have the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world? Anyone know who the last promoter was to have the heavyweight champion of the world, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world? I'm not talking unified, I'm talking undisputed. Undisputed. So Lennox was undisputed. Yeah, so Lennox probably was the last undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Yeah, he probably was. Lennox was an HBO. Was it Showtime or HBO? I can't remember what Lennox was Showtime HBO. Who was Lennox's promoter? Shit. Who promoted Lennox Lewis? I can't remember who's promoted Lennox Lewis. Yeah, I know he's HBO fighter. Who promoted Lennox Lewis? Well, yeah, oh, it might have been Frank Maloney. Maybe Frank Maloney. It may have been Frank Maloney. It may have been Frank Maloney, you know. Yeah, it may have been Frank Maloney because Lennox became undisputed champion when he beat Holyfield. So yeah, maybe Frank Maloney. Dang. Frank Maloney was the last manager to be undisputed, to have the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Dang. Wow. But anyway, so pre-fight, yeah, it was a long time ago. So pre-fight, so anytime you watch a fight from now in boxing, generally, these big fights, you kind of know who's going to win based on the investment. You know, so I'll be looking at the Deontay Wilder fight to see whether there's any more time or any time with the referee. I mean, just see who the referee is. We know that Jack Reese is a fantastic referee. Sexy Kelly, yeah, Sexy Kelly indeed. But he was still, she was still frank at the time. They were still frank at the time. So we have to take it for the time it was then. So, yes. Yes. So, the best way to answer the question here is yes, it happens. For this Joshua Ruiz rematch, still can't tell which way it is. Joshua's the heavily invested guy, yeah? He's the invested guy. Now, there were some rumblings, I didn't know how true this was, that Joshua was going to sign with Al Heyman, or Al Heyman had some control of Joshua. I don't know how true that is. But behind the scenes, I heard, don't know how true this is, that Al Heyman has some control of Anthony Joshua. That's what I heard. So now, I wonder if, you know, guys like Dillian White, Anthony Joshua, I wonder if Al Heyman has more control of these guys than might meet the eye. I wonder. Sometimes I wonder. investors aren't really perfect parting with their money. Really, they'll back a losing horse. Exactly. So there you go. That's my point. So if that investment is in a certain fighter, then you can be guaranteed that fight is going to get automatic judges that are going to be in their favor, referee that's in their favor, gloves in their favor, ring in their favor, uh, rehydration clause in their favor, all sorts of other shenanigans in boxing. So, yeah, that's my point. Let me know if you can think of any incidents or times or fights of boxing where you can see one guy is heavily invested in and another guy, well, he just stood up, he just turned up to give it his all. See, that's why guys like Ray Robinson, who, or even the girl, the part-time police officer that beat Katie Taylor, they haven't got the investment in them. They haven't got the big promote behind them. And so therefore, unless they knock certain people cats out, it's not just about being a good fighter that can throw punches and look good. It's more to it than boxing now. So yeah. Those are my thoughts on it. Love to know what your thoughts are. I'm out. Take care. And don't forget to watch this man tonight. Tonight on Marcos, fighting tonight on Showbox from Iowa. So that's Showbox Friday night fights. I'm looking forward to seeing him fight. Take care.